Right now there's a lot of populist bashing of business people. You offer a well-reasoned defense of the need for successful business people to create wealth for all of us. Can you expound on your arguments for the benefits conferred on the U.S. by creative capitalists, at least the vast majority who are very principled?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to understand how people find it so attractive to bash executives and businesses generally, because frankly, every dollar we have to spend in government, every dollar I got to spend helping the poor, helping schools, helping seniors, was only valuable if it represented a good or service produced in the private sector. I have more and more money as a government official if the private sector is thriving and growing, if jobs are being created and people are paying taxes. And you don't help the wage earner by attacking the wage payer. So it's I think a recognition on the part of the American people, although there are some things that I think we do that lead to the resentment of people in the executive suite. I think in some cases that boards pay their executives too much. I don't favor the government stepping in and saying, you can't do this. This is a free economy. We'll let boards and shareholders decide what they're going to pay people. But I think our compensation packages are far too short-term oriented, and that in some cases the compensation packages are way out of alignment of what is necessary to attract the talent to lead the enterprise. And it breeds, when you hear about one person making a lot of money, it breeds resentment on the part of the tens of thousands of others that work in the enterprise. I don't know the best way to solve that. But usually the CEO has enormous influence over the members of the board, and it's a very cozy relationship, and you'll hire a compensation consultant that comes in and says we should pay the CEO lots more money because, look, this company we just worked for is paying their CEO a lot more money, and the numbers get to be stratospheric, and it breeds a kind of resentment that I think has led in some cases to excess on the part of those executives doing things that, at some point, if you're making $1 million a year, greed may be at this level. When you're making $10 million a year, greed's going to get a little higher, and people get out of control. And I think that's something that the people who are speaking about board governance need to think about how to have boards play a more dispassionate and detached role in selecting the compensation packages for chief executives and other senior officers. That's tough for all you, because I know you're planning on running Coca-Cola, each one of you. But although my guess is most of you are planning on starting your own business at some point, and you're less interested in what the CEO of a major public corporation is going to get, but instead, whether you'll be able to keep a tax rate low enough that you'll be able to keep what you earn.
Just in case Mrs. Gazweda is watching on the web, Dean, Governor Romney opened 3 Cokes while we were preparing. I'm not going to say if he drank any, but he opened them. And building on that idea, the American people have long admired successful business people, including your father, and admired those who got rich. Now the mood has turned sullen and resentful, believing that the game is rigged. What can business people do to restore the respect and admiration of the American people?
Well, I wish I had a great answer for that. I'll tell you what I do. I honestly think the American people are tired of just being given simple answers, and they want the truth. And so what I do in the book is I tell people the truth, which is, are there some bad actors out there? Of course. But that most people who lead enterprises are good people who are trying to do their very best for themselves, for their employees, for their shareholders, and that this scapegoating is a highly destructive tendency. I was disappointed that in the president's effort to pass his health care bill, and I have some differences, as I'm sure you know, of opinion with regards to him on his health care bill, but one of the things that disturbed me about his campaign to pass it was that he said he focused everything on the insurance companies. And somehow these insurance companies are bad people. And I thought, gosh, in my state, the 6 big insurance companies are all not-for-profit. These are not bad people. They're doing their very best to try and provide care to individuals who need it. And to suggest that the cost of health care in America is high because of the insurance companies is a little silly. It's high for a lot of very complex reasons. We have excellent health care. We've got a lot of medical equipment. We have a lot of hospitals and doctors. We have defensive medicine. We have expensive pharmaceuticals. And yes, we have, I'm sure among all the the insurance companies we have, roughly 1,000 of them. I'm sure there's some bad actors here and there. But the scapegoating of a particular group of people has never led to a strong economy or a strong nation. The same thing happened with regards to the financial meltdown. It's been very attractive for people on both sides of the aisle to say, oh, it's all Wall Street. The greed of Wall Street caused this. If it's the greed of Wall Street's always been there. I mean, that's not something new. So you can hardly attribute what happened to our financial system as the burgeoning of greed on Wall Street. That's been there. That was part of the problem. No question about that, but only part. And if we want to avoid another meltdown like the one we just had, you've got to have a broader view of what's really occurring. So the scapegoating of chief executives or Wall Street or insurance companies is not conducive to helping people understand the truth. And I think that whenever the campaigns occur in this coming fall, that you'll have candidates that scapegoat and those that don't. And I think American people are going to increasingly listen to the truth and will be less swayed by the kind of excessive populism that suggests that we find some person to target or some narrow scapegoated group. It's a very dangerous tendency, as we know, historically, and an economy where free enterprise and innovation accounts for our success as a nation. It's a very ironic and unfortunate tendency.
That's right.